What's up YouTube, this is Dennis Panuta for tutorialsEU/Android. In this video you're going to learn the fundamentals of the data types bool, char and string, whereas bools is used for something that can be either true or false, char is just a single character, and strings are text variables. So if you don't understand what variables are, definitely check out our variables video first, as well as the data type video for numbers, because you're just going to need it when you want to become a Kotlin developer. So if you think that this video is a cool idea and you enjoy the content, definitely hit the like button and subscribe button, because we're uploading content on Kotlin and Android app development, and in the future even general app development, every single week, and sometimes even more times a week. So I hope to see you in the other videos as well. But now let's get started with this content. So for example, Boolean is a type which represents logical values. So it can have two possible values, true and false. So we have this variable called isSunny, and I'm going to make it a Boolean, and now I'm going to assign true to it. Let's say a little later the sun is not shining anymore, then I can just say isSunny is going to be false. So I reassigned a new value to it. So I assign false to it now, so sunny or isSunny will now be false. Of course, I don't need to assign the Boolean to it, or I don't need to explicitly state that I want to use it as a Boolean, because once I assign a Boolean value such as true to it, it will know that isSunny is going to be a Boolean type. Then there is another type which is called character or char. So you can assign a char by using the apostrophes. So here you can see the value letter char is just an A, and I make this a char by assigning a value, or a letter in this case, which is surrounded by apostrophes. So if we look at letter char, we can see it's of type char, which is character. The digit char is also of type char. It's really not that much of a difference. It doesn't matter if it's an A, a 1, or even a $sign. But as you can see, it cannot contain more than one sign. That's the limitation of char. So a string is basically a connection of multiple chars. It's just multiple chars together. In this case, it's 5 chars which come together to becoming a string. Now that we talk about strings, let's have a look at strings a little more. So let's assume we have this string variable, which is called myString or myStr, and it has the text hello world. Now, if I want to access a certain character from that string, what I can do is I can use the following approach. So I'm going to call this one first char in string, and this will be my string at the position 0. Why 0? Well, because Kotlin is a language which starts calculating or counting at 0. There are other programming languages which start counting at 1, such as R, but most programming languages start counting at 0. So 0 is the first letter. So if we print this now, let's say we want to print this first char in string. So let's just do that. First character, and we run this code. So let me run it again. And we see first char or first character is H. Quick pause. So you're learning something about Android in this video, and I hope you enjoy it. If you want to learn everything that you need to know to become a real Android developer, then definitely check out my Android masterclass, because in this course you're going to build a bunch of great applications along your journey to becoming an Android developer. First, you're going to learn the Kotlin basics. Then you're going to learn to build one app after another. And while you do that, you get a bunch of demos which will really dig deep into the concepts, as well as presentations which will help you to understand what you're learning. So don't miss out and get the course right now. You can find the link in the description below. All right, so in hello world, the first character was in fact H. Now, if you want to get the last character, what you can do is the following. So I'm just gonna paste it in here. Last character in string will be, again, my string. And then in square brackets, I use my string.length. With this, I get the length of the whole string. And then I say -1, which just says, okay, give me the last one. Because if the length is, in this case, 11, so 5 characters here, then 1, which is this empty space, and then another 5 characters, we come to 11 characters. So 11 minus 1 is going to be 10. So we're going to get the 11th position, which is going to be the D. So now let's just print out the last character. And we can see it says last character is D, which is in fact hello world with the D. All right, so summing it up, there are multiple different types that we can use when we create variables. Variables are immutable if we use the val keyword, and they are mutable, so changeable, if we use the var keyword. Then we don't have to specifically state what kind of data type we want to use if we assign the right value to it. If we assign a value which is of a specific type, such as a number, which is a whole number, it will automatically assume that we want to have an integer. So if we want to have a byte or a short, for example, then we need to explicitly state that by creating the variable with that type. And with long numbers, we can use an underscore in order to make it more readable. This is a new feature that is super useful. We can use that for integers as well, by the way. This makes them more readable. And the same concept goes for doubles as well, where it assumes that we want to assign a double if it's a floating point number, but if we want to specifically use a float, then we have to state that by adding an f to the number itself. Then there is the type Boolean, which is used to only have 2 states. So either something is true or something is false, which is super useful, and we will use that quite a bit. Then we have characters, which we can use in order to just use one character, which doesn't have to be a character, but it can also be a number or a symbol. Then we have strings, which is a collection of a bunch of characters, which we can use for text. And if we want to print something out, we can use this print statement, which then prints it onto our console, which is this little area here at the bottom, which helps us to test stuff and test if a certain variable has a certain value. Of course, there are other ways to do so, but the print statement is a very convenient one. And another one important aspect, and I told you multiple times, but I really want to state it again, you don't have to specifically state your data type because of type inference. And maybe I'm going to add this word here, type inference, which just means that finds out the type from context, which is super powerful and useful and makes our life a lot easier in most cases. So I'd say see you in the next one.